You want to learn how to reach a level of excellence and greatness in whatever it is that you're doing? Well, stay tuned and watch. This is Alexandra Villarroel Abrego, and welcome back to Alexandra TV, where every Wednesday I share with you the best coaching strategies and techniques to create the life of your dreams and to become the greatest version of yourself. Now, make sure you subscribe to this channel because you don't want to miss the new episodes that come out every single week. And I also invite you to go on my website, alexandravillarroel.com, and subscribe to my email list so that you're going to receive a free training series that I've created for you. It's a 4-part training series that will help you take your personal and professional life to the next level. Make sure you go and do that. Reaching a level of greatness and excellence is not something everyone can do or will do. You know, as the saying goes, many are called, but few are chosen. Now, how can you be chosen? How can you make yourself one of the chosen few? Well, in this week's episode, I'm going to share with you what are the 3 fundamental ways to reach levels of greatness and excellence in whatever it is that you want to accomplish or do. So without any further ado, well, let's begin. Step 1 is to study. You need to study your craft. You need to study your industry. You need to see what works and what doesn't. You need to study the people who have come before you and who have been great at whatever it is that you are doing. Since I'm 19 years old, I've been studying my industry. I've been literally obsessed with understanding how some people made it and some people didn't. And what was the difference between these 2 types of people in the industry that I'm in? So I am always studying, I'm always learning, I'm always trying to understand what are the best ways to do what it is that I'm doing. So step number 1, if you want to be great and excellent at whatever it is that you're doing, you must study your craft, you must study your industry to understand what works and what doesn't and how the greats of this world have done it before you. Step number 2 is hard work and consistency. So working hard on a consistent basis. This is such a simple truth, yet people forget it or just don't pay attention to it. And don't get me wrong, if you want to be good at something, if you want to be average, then you can skip this step. This step is not mandatory for you. But if you want to be the greatest in your field, in what it is that you're doing, hard work on a consistent basis is fundamental. You need to be working harder than anyone else because at the end of the day, while you are going to be sleeping or partying or doing other things and not focusing on your craft and on your mission in life, there's someone else who's going to be home working and doing the work and putting in the hours and being consistent. And that person is going to win. It's very, very basic and simple. At the end of the day, the person who works the most is the one who wins. I love it. There's Will Smith who says this, who says, I will not be outworked. He says, you can be more talented than me. You can be smarter than me. You can be sexier than me. But if we get on a treadmill together, I will not get out of that treadmill or I will die. He basically says that no one will work harder than him. And I remember listening to that interview back in 2009 when I was starting, and that's how I've always felt. I've always felt like I will be the first one up and the last one going to sleep. And I will be the hardest working person in my industry. And I do not think it's a coincidence that I am in the position that I am at my age, when I'm the youngest one really in the industry that I'm in, because I've put in the work. While my friends were sleeping and partying and doing whatever, I was working hard. So step number 2 is hard work on a consistent basis. And finally, the 3rd step, very important one, is being extremely calculated. Every move that you make on your road to excellence and greatness has to be calculated. If you study the fall of any great in the history of humanity, you will see that they fell and that they lost it because of their lack of calculation. Because at some point, something happened that got them into acting in a very responsive way. You know, they got triggered by something and they become emotional and they all of a sudden stop thinking in a logical way. They stopped seeing the vision and they just focused on the short-term satisfaction or result of giving in to their impulse. If you want to be great or excellent at whatever it is that you are doing and you want to last in any industry, you need to be very calculated in every step that you make. It's like a game of chess, and you need to know exactly what is going to be the next step. And when there's distractions that come along the way, you need to be able to identify them and choose not to respond in an emotional way, choose not to respond in an impulsive way, because that will destroy you. And again, just take the time to study any great in history who has fallen, who at some point has lost it. And you're going to see that their fall was due to a lack of calculated thinking, of calculated move. And they just gave in to their emotions. They gave in to something triggered them, and they just didn't think. They didn't think about the long-term vision. They did not think about the mission, and they allowed themselves to get distracted, and they became impulsive and emotional about something. So if you want to be great and excellent at whatever, you have to have a very calculated mind. So let's recap the 3 very simple steps, easy steps to becoming great and excellent at whatever it is that you're doing. First of all, is you need to study. You need to study your craft, study your industry, study the ones who have done it before you. The second step is you need to work hard. You need to put in the work. You need to be consistent also in the hard work that you put in. And finally, you need to be very, very calculated. You need to have a calculated way of thinking so that you don't lose it, so that you don't give in to impulses or emotional responses, and you just end up losing it, like many in history of the greats have done it. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please don't forget to like it. Don't forget to share it with your friends. And in the comment section down below, let me know which one of these 3 steps do you need to work on. Which one of the 3 steps do you need to really start focusing on more if you want to be great, if you want to be excellent at anything that you choose to do. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.